Hey bestie, and welcome back to a regular episode of the Plobcast. I felt bad that we had that entire episode of just interviewing Lily Tino's former friend and that regular viewers, because I had a couple of people reach out to me and it's like, hey, so when are you posting another regular episode? And I'm like, I am sick as heck right now because I'm having post-op issues, but I was determined to get you guys a regular episode because I felt bad that you guys had to miss an episode because of the Lily Tino's former friend interview. I will give just a little quick heads up. There is possibly going to be another interview like that, but like I said, I'll make sure I post a regular episode too, because somebody else that formerly knew Lily actually knew them through, like, while they were at the beginning of the transition and stuff, has reached out and said they potentially want to come on the Plobcast. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. But anytime I do a special interview like that where it's not related to like regular Plob stuff, I'll try to make sure that there's always a regular episode too. I will say, dear Lord, kudos to those who edit all of their stuff, because I'm right back to using the sound recorder on the computer with the little pause button, and that's it. Because the person who helped me, like, we sat there together bleeping out that person's voice. Holy shit, that was so much work. Like, because I had to take the interview because it was a video call interview, and then freaking download it, and we had to translate it, make it into a freaking audio instead of a video, and just, oh my gosh, it was so much work. Like, normally a 1 hour podcast takes me an hour and a half to do because I'll take breaks in between, but I'm literally sitting here, like, if there was a visual I could show you guys, I'm sitting here with the end and the pause button, and that's it on the regular sound recorder on the computer. Speaking of, I will have a new computer later this week. I'm super excited. It was a early anniversary gift because of the Amazon Prime Day sale. My partner got me a new one because this one, oh gosh, when I was in the middle of that interview, at one point my computer started making these noises and I was like, ugh. It's nothing fancy. It's just a regular desktop, just so that I can, especially because I work from home most of the time. So yeah, I can't have my computer falling apart. And this one's, poor girl has had her run. Quick disclaimer, because I forgot to do it. As always, this podcast is not for little ears. Not for little ears. Speaking of plobs, and fans, being crappy. Outside of Lily Tino's fans, I have also been getting some nasty messages from the VR chat world because they discovered an old video of mine exposing a nasty VR chat person because I had posted a picture and stuff. Holy shit. And so this video was back in January. I had posted a video because I went into my doctor's office and encountered a plob, a VR chat plob, the cat plob. And I don't know what happened there that maybe because I posted the video about the VR phantom allergy and all that bullshit about like, that's fucking video game addiction, dude. You need to get some help. I guess that like made them look at my page, and a bunch of them were leaving comments on this video. They actually ended up getting the video muted because it says copyright, which I don't know what happened there. I guess they were reporting it for stuff and they couldn't get it taken down except for that. I appealed and TikTok's never responded. It's been like a week now. So to reiterate the story, basically, if you did not see it back in January, I went into a doctor's office and fucking Christ. This is my regular doctor's office, not my primary, but one of my specialists. And so this person comes in and you can smell them the moment they walk in. Oh my gosh. And they are covered in dirty clothes, and here's the crazy part about it is I watched them pay for cash for this doctor's appointment. I was like, I know I was eavesdropping. And they were talking to the lady up front and stuff, and talking about how this is like the 100th doctor they've been to. And so that's what, I started feeling sympathetic. I was like, oh gosh, maybe they've got this horrible disability is why they smell bad. I'm really confused to why they're wearing a pride flag as a cape right now. Cause like, I understand wearing the pride flag as a cape at like events and stuff, but it's like just really random to have it in any flag, no matter what the flag is. It's just kind of random to have a flag as part of your outfit. I don't mean like a little flag on them. I mean like a physical, massive, supposed to be on a pole, large flag. So then they sit down beside me for some reason. It was really weird because we were in an office with like 4 rows of chairs. Like, it's a bigger office. There's nobody else in here there was that one lady, but like there was nobody, it wasn't like it was packed and there was nowhere else to sit. But then they just come and sit directly beside me. And I'm like, this is awkward. This is okay. And they sit beside me and they're filling stuff out, and then they get on their phone. And I glance over because of the smell, and I was going to offer them a mint. I was trying to be nice, but before I could even say anything, I glance and see their phone. And I know I'm nosy. I see their phone and I see what they're Googling. And on this person's phone is them Googling how to commit disability fraud. And I'm fully fucking invested. I'll fully admit I was up here sneaking peeks and shit. And at one point I even saw them, somebody had sent them a text saying, I hope it works this time. So I'm guessing that they were talking about the disability fraud. They're looking up, they are looking up what to tell the doctors, what to say, what conditions pay the most, blah, 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 or what conditions get approved the most, whatever, sorry, not pay the, but approve the most. They're literally sitting here trying to fucking search up how to commit disability fraud and what disabilities you don't have to run tests for and shit so that they can't get caught. And I am sitting there like, what the fuck do I do about this? First of all, they smell. They were leaving dirt and nasty and grime. That's the picture I posted. It was the nasty grime and dirt and hair and stuff that was all over. Now, I do not know what conspired once they went back and closed the door until the yelling started, because then they started yelling and screaming, and you could hear it in the hallway. At one point, I guess the medical assistant didn't feel safe alone with them, which I don't blame them, because then they opened the door and came out in the hallway. The medical assistant did. And this person is screaming about how they need a letter to send to disability so they can get disability and stay home with their cats and play VR. And I'm like, bitch, what? This is a grown-ass adult. And I posted a video about that, showing the picture, talking about how we need this is more fucking proof of this video game addiction shit. It is a problem. This is crossing the line. There's, it's ruining it for these plobs are ruining it for all of us who just enjoy video games and have it as a hobby, versus these people being obsessive. And Lord, I've seen so much unhinged shit about VR now, because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but it was 2-3 years ago. I actually thought VR looked cute because I saw somebody at a convention who did a setup about VR, and I was like, oh, that seems super cute. And I've played VR, as in VR Skyrim on the PS4 with that stuff a while back when I worked at GameStop. I got, a headset and everything. And I remember seeing that, going home, and I was like, oh, let me make a cute avatar. And I make this cute little avatar. And then I go to look up videos on how, because I'm a visual learner, on playing and using it and stuff. I deleted that fucking thing so quickly. It was not even up for a full 12 hours or so. I didn't even put it on anything. I didn't even fucking get into an actual VR chat because I saw so much shit. And I thought it was bad back then, but oh my gosh. That's that is their own subdivision of vlobs. Okay, I don't fucking know what the hell it is about VR, but from everything I have seen, VR might be the cesspool of gaming worse than any other ones. Oh my God. I thought the phantom allergy thing was bad. I saw this whole video of this person saying that they got pregnant in real life, claiming they got pregnant in real life because somebody walked through their avatar on VR, and claiming that it was SA, and how this person should be charged, and how they needed to find this person in real life and charge them with sexual assault because they walked through their avatar without permission, and that's sexual assault. Ain't no goddamn way, bitch. What fucking level of... And this was a grown adult, by the way. This is not a child. This was a grown woman who was saying that because she was on VR and some random person in a chat room walked through her avatar, their avatar walked through hers without her permission, that they needed to be charged with sexual assault in real life, and that they had gotten her pregnant in real life. This person they've never met, never had a conversation, they just walked through her avatar. It's mental illness, ain't it? Sorry, it's mental illness, is it? Or I don't remember the fucking meme. I just know it was something about mental illness. I feel like we need... I know there's studies on video game addiction and stuff like that, but there needs to be a separate one on virtual reality addiction, because I can't even fucking put into words the shit I saw. Just scroll it. Just look up VR incidents or something like that, or VR insane, or VR addicts and whatnot, if you look up anything like that, you will see so many fucking videos. There was, oh my gosh, there was somebody who said there's also something called VR voice, and or VR accent, that's what they called it. I was super confused. I was like, VR accent? And I look it up, and it's the fucking ooh, oh my god. If you've seen the guy who, like, claps his feet together and he's like, princess. I can't fucking do that voice. But yeah, that accent is what they call the VR accent. And there was a bunch of videos of multiple people with it. And I'm like, what is happening? Virtual reality should be, like, this amazing thing. Like, in Skyrim and stuff, you know, different games that you could play with it are amazing. But VR chat is, like, it's like Plobtopia. And there's also somebody who was venting about, they were like, it's not fair because then I see like the with these VR chat, people actually look like it and they're ugly and they were my crush before. And then I also saw somebody doing something similar with furries. They were saying, oh, something about a headless lounge. I don't know what that is, but they were saying like, oh, when you go to the headless lounge and you find out that your crush is ugly. Okay, hold up. Are you saying that you had a crush on them because of the suit and not the person? Like, were you attracted to the suit? I'm just a little confused. Are you saying you were like what do you mean that they're ugly because they don't have the suit on? Okay, the suit is not them. They're a person. That means you didn't have a crush on the person, you had a crush on their suit. Like, and that seems very, very judgy to me. Like, it just seems really fucking hypocritical when people are part of a cringe culture. And I'm not saying cringe isn't a bad thing. There's you know, silly, funny cringe. I mean, there's stuff that crosses the line. But there's also silly, funny cringe, just having fun, right? Being a nerd in general is cringe at some level. Whether it's full on, you know, you're a problem, plob cringe, or just like a little cringe that you like, you know. Yeah, you wore a Naruto headband in like middle school or something, you know. There's a fucking difference, all right? Like there's a scale, a spectrum there, right? So we're all cringe at some point, but to be fucking judging how people looks while you're doing so, you are fucking spending hours in a virtual reality chat, not in a game, not in a virtual reality game, but just in a chat. Like, bro, you can't be judging other people for their looks at that point. Not to bring up Lily Tina, but one of the messages that we read off, which I need to fucking, like, put all that. I'm so sorry, I had to pause. Apparently, my kids had found the tablet that they weren't supposed to have in their room and started fighting over it. And all of a sudden, I hear them yelling, and I'm like, what is going on? Y'all supposed to be in bed. No, they're over here fighting over the tablet that they stuck in their room. Like, it has locks and stuff on it, so it only has learning games and things. Like, they can't get on. They ain't getting on no fucking World Wide Web like some of these parents. But they also know they're only supposed to use it, you know, when an adult's in the room, and they're not allowed to have it after a certain time. And apparently they fucking snitched on themselves. Apparently they I don't even know how they fucking snuck it out of my, I guess probably, well, I've been sick because of that post-op infection. I was throwing up earlier, so they probably snuck it whenever I was throwing up earlier in the bathroom. But joke's on them, they end up snitching on themselves because I heard them arguing and fighting over it. I apologize, I lost my spot because, like I said, I used the pause and stuff. I don't have all that fancy stuff, so I apologize if I repeat anything I've already said. But yeah, the VR stuff needs to be, like the VR chat, how are you out here judging somebody else? Like, it's looks over something like that. If you are in these fandoms, you can't be, I mean, you shouldn't be judging anybody, whether you're in a fandom or not, but it just seems like an extra level of hypocritical. It'd be like if I, as a gamer, was like, ooh, you're a K-pop fan? Ooh, gross, that's so cringy. Meanwhile, I'm over here fucking playing video games and shit, like, and watching anime. Like, it just seems an extra level of hypocritical. Speaking of K-pop, I just want to say I feel super bad for fans in that fandom, like, who are not skinny and white, that I feel bad for them because, I mean, in general, like, fandom is a fucking nightmare from a lot of things I've seen, but in general, I feel super bad for them because so many of them go and visit Korea, or their dream is to go and visit Korea, and then they see the shit show that is over there, and they get their hopes and crushed dream and realize how, like, first of all, if you don't know, South Korea is the capital of the entire world for plastic surgery. Y'all have seen me. I would be considered too dark to those people. That the beauty standard, they bleach their skin so much, and they also believe you have to be super skinny. They are openly racist. There are places, it's so crazy. My first duty station was actually supposed to be Korea, the base that's like right outside of Seoul. And it ended up getting switched last minute to Fort Hood. And then I get to Fort Hood, get to my unit, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to Korea for a 9-month rotation. I'm like, what the hell? But anybody who has ever been to Korea or knows about Korean history, yes, they look, they look amazing because they have all these certain, and it's very normal for, and regardless of your gender, makeup, and they have all this amazing makeup and these super advanced plastic surgery, and it's very normal. It's actually very out of the normal to like not get plastic surgery. Almost, it's so common over there. They are the plastic surgery capital. But I see so many K-pop fans and K-drama fans that fall in love with these shows and the fan base, and they're like, I really want to go to Korea and talk to people and like meet people, and it's going to be so open and friendly. They seem so welcoming. And then if they're not skinny and extremely white, they go over there and they're discriminated against, they're made fun of, they're given a lot of shit. There are literal places in Seoul that if you go to a club, it will say no black people on the door, and that is not a very, like, you can Google this and find pictures of that shit. They will have stuff where it's and Japan has its own problems where it has it'll say like locals only or something, and people are discriminated against in Japan too. But like Korea is in your face, while at the same time pushing out these K-dramas and these K-pop artists. And K-pop artists, by the way, if you don't know, they're all broke too, by the way. Other than like the extremely big names, most K-pop bands, they make less than minimum wage. There's been so many documentaries on it, how a lot of them, also because they train them from a young age, a lot of them don't even have basic life skills. There was a document, oh gosh, it was like a Real Life, My Life, True Life, that's what it was, True Life. There was a show called True Life on MTV years ago, and they did a documentary. It's like a documentary kind of style thing. True Life on MTV. They did an episode where it was an American who had married a former K-pop star, and she talks about all the struggles. And there's also several other like documentaries and people who have done videos on it and talked about it, and former K-pop people talking about their experience and stuff. And it is not like American celebrities. They are trained from young age. It's bad. A lot of them, once they fall off, and then they don't fall off because they lose talent. There's like an age max over there. You hit a certain age, you show any signs of wrinkling, like, and the plastic surgery isn't keeping you looking young anymore, or anything. The slightest injury, you're no longer in fandom. Now, next one, you're getting replaced with somebody else. Like, it's nothing. It's really sad. I'm not into K-pop or K-drama or anything like that, but I know so many people that are. I have friends that are, and I just feel really bad. For example, I have a friend who is a plus-size black woman, and I tried to warn her. I was like, please keep in mind, it is not like you see on these K-dramas that make it look super open and friendly. You are a dark-skinned plus-size woman. You're going to get a lot of shit over there. It's not like these, they might say in all the K-dramas that they love people just the way they are and their personality. No, there's a lot of judgment over there. And she went over there, and I remember she spent like hundreds of dollars to come back early, to move her flight, because she was so fucking heartbroken by how they treated her over there. She was not welcomed in a lot of spaces. She said there was literally people who were taking pictures of her on the street. She had multiple comments made about her skin tone and her weight. She had a lot of like pushy salespeople too, who were like pushing. She literally had somebody approach her about skin bleaching, and she had a couple of people approach her about fucking lipo and shit. It's bad. They were like, she called me crying one time because there was a salesperson who literally came up and said, oh, we can fix you, and was talking about skin bleaching and lipo and stuff, and saying that they could fix her. Yeah, not even completely unapologetic, not just straight up out the gate, like, we can fix you by doing this stuff. Like, they made her feel horrible over there. I do know there are some influencers who will say, "Oh, I had an amazing, great time over there, even though I don't fit the beauty standard." And it's like, but you're also being paid to go over there. I know there was one person a while back, I think it was on Reddit or somewhere, somebody had posted, they were talking about how they did like a paid partnership and they couldn't speak out about it publicly, but they had like posted on social media that they had a great time and didn't have any problems at all. And then they had ended up making like a burner account on Reddit, and it was like, hey, so yeah, it's all a fucking scam. Yes, there was good experiences that I had, but I also had some bad ones that I wasn't allowed to post about. I think that's one of those double standards with influencing is you want in content creation is you want people to be able to be honest and not be in these contracts and not be monetized to the point where, I mean, you want them to be monetized, but you don't want them to be locked into these contracts where they can't be honest, because that's what a lot of these companies do, is put them in contracts that they can't be honest, which is why I can be so fucking blunt on here, because I'm not monetized on here. But you can, be honest and stuff, but at the same time, to have any kind of travel or like reviewer content creator who's going to have to spend money to make these videos and stuff, they need to be monetized often to afford that. Like, they can't afford to not be monetized and do all these things, but then at the same time, when they get in these contracts, they then can't fucking be honest. It sucks. It's this double-edged sword there. But yeah, I feel bad for people in the K-pop fandom space that, in K-dramas fandom space that just want to go over to Korea and they have this diluted version, like ID, I don't even know what to call it. Like this idea in their head, right? This idea in their head of how it's going to be, and then they go over there. And I know there's a lot of, skinny white girls that go over there like, it's great, it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But they're not considering the fact that that is their experience, because there are a lot of skinny white girls that, like, you see that if you've ever seen the Hongdae guy videos, oh gosh, look those up. They're fucking hilarious. Are you open-minded? Do you live alone? There are guys like that over there that fetishize Taurus. So I've seen women literally post videos being like, oh my gosh, all the guys absolutely love me, blah, blah, and then they like went to Hongdae or something, and that's what they're talking about. And they're like a traditionally attractive woman and a like American woman, and it's like, yeah, you went over you were already traditionally attractive as is, and now you're a hot commodity because you're traditionally attractive and in another country. Pretty privilege is a real thing. I'll admit that. These BP motherfuckers are insane. That's definitely not how that works. People talking about freaking, yeah, that shit's a crock of crap. But pretty privilege is real. There are people that, are given advantages based on, which shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing at all. We shouldn't be judging somebody based off of their traditional attractiveness. We should be judging people based off of their behavior and their actions, and also if they decide to wash their ass and wipe their ass. Speaking of, I had somebody who was like, I think the Plob Patrol needs to intervene here, and sent me this video of this person, this guy. Oh my lord. So I've done a stitch. I haven't posted it yet, but this guy, he's not a plob. Okay, I will say it does not come across as a plob. I just think he might be addicted to Magic the Gathering and Red Bull. So he's a fursuiter. Or what are they called? Poodling, whatever it is, where like he's just wearing like the head and paws. But I've looked at all his videos. He is living in a very clean, neat space. He has, ironically, part of his suit is white, and it's like white, like bleach white. It seems to be kept clean. He seems to be clean. His room seems to be clean. He doesn't seem to have any plob ideations. But the video they sent me is him ordering 20,000 he spent like $1,700 on card protectors. It's just boxes and boxes of card protectors. And then in the next video, he's got like 10 cases of Red Bull. And I'm like, sir, you might have a shopping addiction. This might be like, what is happening? I have worked in card shops. I've grown up in card shops. I've worked in gaming shops. I've worked at GameStop itself. I have never seen I've dated a semi-pro Magic Gathering player, and I have never seen someone fucking order a commercial amount of fucking card sleeves. What is happening? Also, the Red Bull's deeply concerning because he's a fursuiter, on top of the fact that like Red Bull can be dangerous within itself. The all the stuff that goes into that I could do a whole fucking separate thing on that. But Red Bull energy drinks can be dangerous. Like, they can kill people and stuff. But when you add on to the fact this dude's wearing a fursuit, that's extra heat. Like, that's like heavy, and even if it's not that heavy, it's adding extra heat and stuff, and you're sweating and you're dehydrating. You should not be drinking Red Bull or energy drinks while already doing something else that's going to dehydrate you too. Like I said, I made a stitch. I'm gonna post it and just be like, guy, do you need some help? Do you need Gamblers Anonymous or something? Or Shoppers Anonymous? I don't even know. Like, this is an addiction. This is an addiction because I understand maybe spending that amount of money over a long period of time. And to be clear, this isn't cards. This is just the toppers. This is just protectants. Because, like, I've seen people drop that much money on cards at once, like going to events and stuff, on rare cards and stuff. But just the toppers, just the protectors? What do you mean there's 20,000 and you're showing me all these cases? My God, you need some help. That is a shopping addiction. Are you okay? Even if you have the money, it's just weird to purchase them all at once. Like, what happened? Did you inherit something and that's why you're doing this all at once? It's just a weird purchase, man. Speaking of Plobs, people have asked me to speak out. I am going to finally address Nova Online. And I've talked about how I was going to address him at some point and just hadn't gotten a chance to. And I have been tagged and asked multiple times now. I actually started following Nova Online to follow their stuff from, And if you don't know, at first I thought it was just like, oh, he's a little cringe, a regular lol cow. But then, nope, he's a fucking pedo too. He's into age play, which, just to be clear, age play and age regression are two different things. Age play are the ones that it's a sexual thing. Age regression is actually a type of therapy and can even be involuntary and things. I could do once again, this is something else I could do a whole topic on. There are actually certifications, like professional education you can get on age regression and like the psychological causes of it and stuff. It is a trauma response. It's not just people dressing up as kids to be fun and all that stuff. Age play, on the other hand, is sexual. It is a sexual thing. And I like to make sure people know the difference because I've seen people get shit for age regression, which that, like I said, it is a psychological, there are brainwave changes and stuff people have studied in Europe, even showing like brainwave changes for age regressors and things. It is a trauma response. It is similar to like how PTSD can change cause different things with your brain. But age players are a whole different thing. That is a whole different thing. And apparently Nova likes to get dressed up as children and then sing to children, and get really fucking dirty and nasty about it. He has had multiple accounts taken down. Apparently he's like made 4 or 5 Discords now, and he keeps getting them removed because he keeps letting kids in and having inappropriate conversation with kids. How is he getting a hold of these kids is my thing. That's my confusion. Now, we know how people like Lily Tino and stuff manipulate into joining their stuff, like kids into joining their stuff. She does the shit with like making the Miss Rachel parody and shit. But Nova Online, how the fuck is any child looking at that motherfucker and going, yeah, I want to join this dude's Discord? What the fuck? As someone who was severely groomed online as a child, I was literally trafficked as a child, mostly online. It started with somebody that I knew in real life, but I trusted it all. But that's not the conversation we're having. But like, as somebody who went through that, there is no world where I would have ever looked at somebody like Nova and been like, yep, this is who I was going to join. I genuinely am concerned. That's not me making fun of the children, to be clear. I'm just saying somebody's parents have failed somewhere. Because the fact that this man has any access to children is deeply fucking concerning. Because how bad are these children being treated at home that they ended up in a fucking Discord, in Nova Online's Discord, getting groomed by that fucking piece of shit psycho. Because he doesn't even seem to know any manipulation techniques is the weird thing. He goes online and cries and complains that he's being bullied and nobody wants to hire him and crashing out and shit, while also with the diapers on video. And to be clear, he doesn't have a medical condition. It's a fetish for him. Buddy, how many times do I have to say this? I don't give 2 flying fucks what your fetishes are, as long as it is safe, sane, consensual. SSC. Right? I teach kink safety. Obviously, I don't fucking care about your fetishes. Like, safe, sane, consensual. And consensual means also adults, human adults, by the way, that are in their right mind and all of that stuff, right? But if I see one more motherfucker pushing their goddamn fetishes on my FYP, Oh my, I am so sick of fucking fetish content being pushed out in the public uncensored. Nova is a Chris Chan wannabe. That's what that is. Chris Chan, oh my fucking, I also saw somebody the other day apparently was trying to say that, you know what's funny, is this person was trying to say that there was no way I grew up with Chris Chan's cousin and blah, 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 and there's no way my last name was Chandler. And then I look, and they are literally fucking mutuals with the person who doxed me at one point, who's doxed my fucking, still has a video up showing my last name being, my maiden name being Chandler. So it's like, buddy, pick a fucking lie. Like, fucking Christ, just a fucking piece of shit stalkers. I'm so over their shit. Karma hit the gas next time. I mean, I'm glad it's been going, but like, Jesus Christ. It's the fact that they never get it. Like, something bad happens every single, it's like karma has been fucking hitting them, and then they still fucking do it again and then get shocked when something bad happens. Like, Jesus Christ. But Chris Chan set the fucking blueprint here. Chris Chan started all this shit. I'm not saying there weren't like creeps on the internet before, but I feel like there are so many people who saw the Chris Chan thing and fucking was like, yeah, that's who I want to be like, and it just started this fucking plethora of motherfuckers on the internet. And the worst part is Chris Chan probably thinks that's a good thing. Like, Chris Chan, she's probably sitting somewhere being like, oh yeah, it's great that motherfuckers are following in my footsteps and doing this nastiness online. I finally did the video, by the way. I have not posted it yet. It'll be posted the next day or two. I finally did the reaction, and I got like software that I did the CapCut. It's gonna let me put the video side by side of the actual like body cam footage of Chris Chan, because there's so much shit in that. Just a heads up, at one point Chris Chan does sexually harass, borderline sexually assault a cop. The cop that's like, oh my gosh, I had already watched it before, but I like, it was worse watching back because I was doing the reaction and I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything in it, and it was so fucking cringy, creepy, and uncomfortable. Chris Chan, like, the sexual assault part or sexual harassment of that cop was so fucking weird. I feel like it should have been another charge. The fact that Chris Chan in this moment, she is getting arrested for raping her own mother and incest, in this moment is getting arrested for that, and then starts sexually harassing the cop too. There's a part where, yeah, what the fuck, of all, it's the audacity for me. Speaking of people who are pedophiles and like children, God, the fucking bane of my existence is the Doom search. The Doom search is the bane of my existence. So, I was looking up clips from Wrong Turn, and I wanted to show some people because I like the movies. I have, growing up in West Virginia, especially working the hillbilly festivals that they do and the bluegrass festivals and stuff they'll do. God, when I worked at Wendy's and they had the bluegrass festival that one year, it's wild. And also, if you don't know, I have an ex. Actually, technically I have two exes that are like this, but one actually married their cousin and has inbred children. And their children have deformities because of multiple generations of inbreeding. It's very shocking that they don't have, well, I mean, they do look, I wouldn't say deformities, but there's certain genetic traits and stuff, right? But I you know, growing up, I will admit that it's a stereotype. They're not, a lot of these inbred people are not out here cannibalizing anybody. It's nothing like the Wrong Turn movies. But I do like the Wrong Turn movies because I am a horror fan and it's based out of West Virginia and stuff. And they do, some of the stuff they say are actually factual, like when they list off random facts about West Virginia. But the stuff with the hillbillies, cannibals eating people, you know, that's not. Majority of these inbred people living out in the Appalachians, like I've encountered plenty, are not out here eating people. At one point I even came across one of their houses when I was like exploring the state forest and stuff that was bought because our yard connected and all that shit, right? There was a point I was deep in an encounter and they, you know, they couldn't speak, but I think it was like 11 or 12 at that time. They didn't like try to eat me or attack me or anything like that. Anyways, I do like the Wrong Turn movies, and I was trying to show somebody some clips from the Wrong Turn movies. Tell me why. I come across, if you don't know who Three Fingers is, Three Fingers is from the Wrong Turn movies. He's basically, it's like 6 out of 7 of the movies is the main villain, right? Or is it 5 out of 7? I don't know. Anyway, he's the main villain for a majority of it. And he is like one of the main, he's the youngest of the 3 brothers that are the cannibal inbreds in there. And there's people I've seen be fans of him, right? As an adult. What I didn't know is, so in one of the movies, they show their past, their history. Like, they're supposed to be showing how they got to this point, right? And they're in a mental ward, right? I don't want to give spoilers, but they're in a mental ward. Stuff happens. It's showing them, though, as kids. And I believe they're supposed to be 8 years. Three Fingers is supposed to be 8, and it like talks about how he ate off his other 2 fingers, and that's how he became Three Fingers, right? He's supposed to be 8, and the actor who plays him in the movie is 13 and then turns 14 during the filming of it. So 13 to 14. And he's playing an 8-year-old. Now, that's normal. They always have, especially with horror, you will always have older actors play younger characters because you obviously don't want an actual fucking 8-year-old filming something like that. And fucking Christ, I come across a bunch of edits of Three Fingers, but not him as an adult. Him as a fucking child. And I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird. And I'm assuming, and they're sexual. They're very sexual. The captions are talking about all night long and all this stuff. And there's like some, just a heads up, if you haven't seen them, there are some rape scenes in Wrong Turn. And talking about, oh, he wouldn't have to rape anybody, he'd do it to me. Just some very fucking unhinged to be saying about a fucking inbred cannibal in the first place. But this is also a child. And I'm thinking maybe it's like a teenager, like another child has posted this edit, some like 14, 15-year-old that shouldn't have been watching the movie in the first place. No! The comments is filled with grown women. We're talking 30s, 40s. Grown women leaving comments about fucking this child. He's supposed to be 8, and they have prosthetics to make him look like a child. He literally looks like a baby. And he's played by an actor who is a fucking child. And there's even people who are commenting, oh my God, that's a kid. And these grown women being like, I don't care, I'd make him into a man, but there's no fucking way. You're all straight to prison. Straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Straight to fucking prison, because all y'all need your fucking hard drive checked, and to fucking people to check on all the minor boys you've been around, because Jesus fucking Christ. Another thing I ended up seeing with adults being creepy towards minors is there was this like kid in a wolf costume. It was like a baby furry, not baby furry. I remember. Oh God, that's apparently baby furry is a term for like adults in diapers shitting themselves and stuff in the fur industry. So that's not the same thing, but like it was a kid that had like this wolf costume on, right? It looked like Great Wolf Lodge mascot basically, and it was this little kid. They were like maybe 6 or 7, and it comes across my FYP, and I'm like, okay, this is like a random thing. But then this dark music starts playing, and I'm like, why is dark music playing? And then it stops the video and starts showing screenshots from the comments apparently on the original video. Apparently somebody downloaded the video and was reposting. And it was a bunch of adults who were leaving the most fucking nasty, disturbing comments, sexualizing the, oh my gosh, it's so cute, blah, 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 and he sounds just like a wolf, and I'm gonna do this. Oh, until he couldn't bark anymore. But what the fuck? I have had, over the years, so many people tell me, oh, you should start one of those channels where you do the pedophile hunters, because I've got mutuals that do stuff like that, and where they're, oh, you see, like, what is his name, Vitali or something like that, the ones where they go down and they trick. It's kind of like How to Catch a Predator, but it's done by YouTubers, and they usually just beat their asses. Here's my thing: if I ever did that, it wouldn't be like How to Catch a Predator. It would be a documentary on a serial killer, which would be me. Because, especially with what I went through as a child, if I fucking, oh my God, I would meet up with them. I would trick them into thinking I was a child. I would go to meet up with them, and then I would just fucking murder them. Like, I'm just being, I don't have the self-control with the stuff I have seen. Then, because it's not even like, it has gotten worse. It has gotten worse, just to say, like, they send detailed shit. You know what it would be? Instead of, a reenactment of How to Catch a Predator, it'd be a reenactment of that one episode of Criminal Minds. The one that everybody says is one of the darkest ones, where they go and they find a giant box of shoes and they like realize that the pigs have eaten all of the bodies. Except for instead of innocent people, it would just be pedophile shoes in the box. Because I spent my summers on the farm. Best believe if it came down to it, I could fucking figure out. I know how to get a pig. I know how to get him to eat it. I know the exact the best way, the quickest, all of that. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't fucking... If somebody was like, hey, we just want help figuring out how to chat with these people because of my experience from when I went through it, I do know what you could say to pretend to be a kid to get them, like, to lure them out. I could do that, but I could never run my own channel where I, like, met up with them because I just fucking lose, but there's no way. There's no way. There's this video I saw of somebody, like, apparently these two YouTubers had, like, caught this predator and lowered him into, like, what looks like a target. And one of them fucking picks the dude up. The pedophile's trying to run away, and he picks the dude up and throws him. And there's another fucking guy on the other side, and he just fucking smashes him, and he fucking falls into the floor of Target. And I'm like, yep, that would be me. That would be me beating their fucking ass. I couldn't have a convo. Chris Hansen is a first of all, I like to call him Chris Handsome. Sorry. If you know, you know. But, like, the way... No, I couldn't fucking do it. The way Chris Hansen just stands there and is very calm about it. Because I'd be jumping over the counter like the one that, like, tried to offer Chris Hansen a fucking piece of pizza and shit. And was like, oh, you know, it's just, like, especially when they act like it's no big deal. What's worse than the ones that start crying and, oh, I didn't know, whatever. What's worse than those ones, it's the ones that are calm about it. If you've seen How to Catch a Predator, there are some pedophiles that will literally, they get caught, like the pizza guy. He's infamous because he's just like, oh, you want a slice of pizza? Oh, I'll take this pizza home with you. Or, like, he's just so fucking, he knows he's caught, and he's acting so nonchalant about it. I don't know what it is, but certain kinds of nonchalant people irk me to my fucking core. Like, people... So I don't like people who act insanely irrational and dramatic about little things, but at the same time, I don't like the other end of the spectrum where people are nonchalant in serious situations. Like, it's great that you can be calm in regular situations. I think that's important. It's an important skill to have. But when you are so nonchalant, you are a part of a serious crime and you're acting like it's no big deal. That's when it's like, what the fuck? I will say, if you guys, ever see me randomly, like, obtaining pigs for what appears to be absolutely no reason in the future, like, I just fucking snap and I start obtaining pigs, please don't snitch on me. Please find a way to delete this podcast episode so I don't go to prison. Don't be snitching on me, please. That's a joke. I'm not gonna go buy fucking pigs. I'm just saying, like, I can't fucking... I appreciate the amount of people who are like, you'd be great at this. I don't have the tolerance. I do not have the tolerance to be calm about it. I want them to be caught. Like I said, you know, if somebody wanted help, like these YouTubers and stuff that do these organizations that catch them, if you want help catching them, but I couldn't be the one that met them in person because just on site, immediate hands, knowing what they, you know, fucking said. Like, I was watching a clip the other day where the actress from Modern Family is now working with one of those organizations and doing that kind of stuff. The whole reason, by the way, that came to mind and got brought up again was because for July 14th, today, the organization, oh gosh, my brain just glitched. So I looked up his username to make sure I was giving it to you right because I was like, crap, I don't want to give it to you wrong. So it says argd.cross is his username, but it's the account All Rapists Gotta Die. There is a creator who has a great organization, and they did a whole celebration for today for July 17th. Obviously not celebrating the rapists, but, like, trying to promote awareness and stuff to the organization, which I know some people are always like, oh, that's so extreme to murder them. Yes, they fucking deserve to murder, okay? And I think it's funny when people bring up the Bible into that conversation, and they're like, oh, but murder is a sin. The Bible says to stone them to death. So, actually, I'm being pretty biblical in this moment, ain't I? I think it'd be better to save time and line them all up and just and put some in their head. But, you know, if you want to be biblical, we can go with the rocks. Either way, I it's fucking insane. It's insane that it's not, that so many of these fucking sickos exist and shit. Especially within so many of these fucking plobs and fandom spaces. So many fucking plobs and fandom spaces are fucking predators too, with their goddamn, I'm gonna marry this anime girl that's fucking 5 years old and blah, 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 but she's fictional, so it's okay, even though she's drawn graphically detailed and as a 5-year-old. Fuck you. I mean, obviously nobody actually fucked them. That's disgusting, and you're probably gonna get fucking ringworm in your pussy if you do. As I've said many times before, I'm not gonna tell anybody if I get a death note, but there are gonna be signs. There will be signs, because I'm just gonna be fucking every single motherfucker that's on sex offender list, other than like people that pissed in a park randomly or something. Like I said, I fucking hate that we put people like that on the registry. Like, dude, it'll be like some 19-year-old that got drunk and pissed at a fucking park at 2 a.m., but nobody even was there to see, and then like next thing he starts on the registry. That's so fucking weird. It's not a sexual offense. It's a drunk guy pissing when nobody's around. Yeah, just for anybody who has not seen that, please go. I like I said, I spelled it out because I want to make sure I got it correctly. But yeah, all rapists gotta die. .cross is got a great organization going on there. To be clear, just in case anybody misconstrued this, they're not out there murdering rapists. I'm just saying that's what should happen. But that organization is not going around murdering people. It's the name of their organizations, but it's to bring awareness and help those who have gone through those things. I just realized the way I was describing that and making my side commentary, somebody might think that like this organization's like just out here fucking murdering people. I promise that's not it. I apologize for losing my place twice in one podcast. It is storming and we had a power flicker. Thank God I am on the laptop, and once again, sound protector is not internet needed. Or sorry, sound recorder. And now I've lost my place because I was waiting for that, because I didn't want to risk it messing up if I kept trying to go and it running out of the battery. So I just left it paused, and now I have lost my place where we were. I am clearly a super professional at this. Obviously. Speaking of professionals, I just want to say, if I have one more creator that I like come out as a fucking piece of shit, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I say that because after posting that interview, like I had this whole plan that I was gonna post it on Sunday so that I had time and all that stuff, right? And I could also post like a regular on Monday and all that stuff. And but then I ended up having the post-op issues, and I had a creator that I followed that like randomly mutualed me over it, and I was like, oh, okay. And then they were asking for like the person we're calling John's contact information. I was like, I can send him yours. I could send you the screenshots he sent me and stuff, but I'm not going to give his personal information for obvious reasons unless he wants to give that. I have been telling him he does need to like, if he doesn't need, but if he wants, he can go talk. Like, I feel like he should go talk to somebody who's got a bigger podcast, like as an actual professional content creator. And in the process of that, and I'll mid conversation, I was like, hey, I'll get back to you here in a little bit. I got to do something. And then I ended up getting sick. Like, the symptoms started getting really bad. I had to go to the doctor. So it was bad, right? And this one person, and this is a very, very large content creator, by the way. Like, there's no way I could take on their fans. That is why I'm not saying anything. But they are well established. They make my entire year's salary, even with a decade of college and multiple degrees. They take my entire fucking year's salary in a fucking month. They make like a doctor salary in the matter of like 3 months. I'm talking Dr. Miami. Is it Dr. Miami? That plastic surgeon that makes a shit ton of money. Like, this is some. I looked up their net worth, and it's in the millions. They're pretty big, right? And they had reached out to me about that and stuff, and I hadn't answered because I was like, I talked to them for a minute, and I was like, I'm gonna get back to you tonight. And they sent me 80 almost. So it was like 78 or something. So almost damn near, basically 80 fucking messages between TikTok, Instagram, and my emails. I wasn't responding, and you could see it escalating. Like, my friend who I was letting into my account to like help me with approving comments and stuff, I was not feeling good and everything. And like this morning, it's sorry, I about dropped something this morning and stuff. And they fucking Christ, they were my friend was like, you might want to address this person first. And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh my God. They sent me message after message. Oh my gosh, I know I saw the story that you're sick, but you need to respond back to me. You don't have 2 seconds to check your phone, blah, blah. Everybody's on their phone all the time. First of all, no, we're not. A lot of us have lives. And then they were escalating. They were offering me money. This motherfucker was trying to bribe me. They were like, I know you said you were going to send my email, but I'm sure there's other creators that want to send your email. I'll pay you to make sure that you won't, like, I'll pay you if you just send him my contact information. Tell him I'll pay him for the podcast. I'll fly him out, blah, blah, blah. And I did let John, as we're calling him, know. I was like, hey, if you want, but just a heads up, this was my experience with this person. But they are offering to pay you. But also just a heads up, I'm going to tell you everybody who reaches out to me, not just them. And they were like, yeah, John was like, no, I don't want nothing to do with that person. They haven't responded about the other people yet. They might have reached out to the other people and I just don't know. But either way, fucking Christ, that was intense, reading all of them back to back to back. There were some that were just like question marks, them sending question marks, like a fucking clingy fifth grade girl, not fifth grade, sorry, like a clingy 15-year-old girl when you're both in like ninth grade together and you don't respond, and she starts like sending question marks and shit, being like, why aren't you responding? Yeah, that's what it felt like. I have an ex-girlfriend who has severe mental illness and got super obsessive, like ended up in the psych ward more than once. Grippy Socks Vacation, which there's no shame if you need that. There's no shame in going if you need that. Please go if you do, if you need that. But she was super clingy and jealous because of attachment and trauma and stuff. She could not top what that person was doing. Even she has never been that, oh my gosh, unhinged. And I'm a this whole thing happened over like this span of like 12 hours. It was really sad because yes, it is something that as a content creator, there's going to come a point when you're going to learn that there's a lot of things are not as they seem. They might look one way visually on social media, and a lot of people are actually fucking horrible behind closed doors, and there's also people that seem like pieces of shit online and end up being the nicest people ever. So fucking Christ, like just seeing that, I was like, damn it, another creator that I really liked that I now am like, oh, nope, want nothing to do with. As we wrap things up, because I am trying not to get sick again, I apologize, it is definitely time for medication soon. Just want to remind everyone to stay hydrated, stay safe, freaking use sunblock, wash your asses as always. And remember, if you carry a can of deodorant spray on you, the plobs can't get you. They run away from deodorant. It's like garlic and vampires. You can also try mentioning things like job application, moving out of their own mother's basement, and washing their ass. All of these things are ensured to make the plobs run away from you. Also, for those who are asking more details on the guy who was taping dog bags to his asshole and shitting in them, the GameStop employee that was doing that, while gaming, I do have an updated video. If you've not seen, I did do a part 2 because I went back and asked the person who submitted that story. I was like, hey, can I get some people have some questions. Like, you can go to my comments and see them. And she did respond with some of the answers. I now need to bleach my eyes. Also, please remember to not commit disability fraud. You can play VR all day. Just don't commit disability fraud in general. We shouldn't be out here committing fraud, please. This is your reminder that most jails don't have prison. And they often share one TV. And you gotta watch dumb shit all day because, whoever's in charge, the pod boss or whatever, we gotta watch whatever they want. They don't have soda in most prisons. You can't vape there. There's no smoking in prisons anymore. Also, there's a lot of stinky plobs in prison because of lack of showers and stuff like that. I mean, they'll beat your ass if you don't shower in prison, but there's also situations where people can't shower, and they're pretty understanding on that because it's like, well, we can't, But that's a funny thing about prison is it's similar to the military. They will literally drag your ass in the fucking shower if you don't bathe. But there are situations where they can't bathe because the system is fucked up. It's bad. So yeah, just quick reminder of all of that, so none of you go to prison for committing things like fraud. Like, please don't commit crimes unless you have a death note and you're out here like writing the names of pedophiles on them. Okay, that I can do. If anybody out there has a real life death note and they're doing that, kudos to you. I condone that behavior. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Anyways, as always, I am a Kindle with interchangeable accessories. They're a pleasure, and I will see you guys again on Thursday. I am going to speak to somebody who wanted to come on here and talk about their experience in the community, and I'm going to see if they want to do that this week. So I don't know if Thursday will be that interview talking about our experience in fandom, or if it'll be another regular episode.